All right, it's still Good Morning Anambra, and we are at the final lap of the program where we look at some issues, and of course we expect you to call and make your own opinion count on this program. We're still here in the house with my theme, Theo and IJ.
We're here, so call us and make contributions.
It's okay, let's move on.
All right, we have a guest in the studio this morning, Honorable Edozie Ezogwa, who is the SSA on Legislative Matters and Labor Unions to the government of Anambra State. Honorable, we welcome you to the studio this morning.
Thank you so much. You're welcome.
All right, and we're still fixing our eyes on 2019 elections. Who is going to run? Who is getting ready? We've okay. Our focus is the softer side of President Buhari. Let's come to you, Honorable Ezogwa. Could you let us into the softer side of President Muhammadu Buhari?
Well, the president is a normal human being, just like every other person.
I only want to give you a ride on that because the feelings Nigerians are having is as if Buhari is just iron and steel. Like if you look at him, he's hard-hearted and things like that. Let's look at the other aspect of him.
Not at all. Yes. I've worked with him closely. At least little I know, I can be able to say. That apart, he has right to aspire to any elected position as far as he's a Nigerian. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria guarantees him that right to vote and be voted for. So on that aspect, he has the right to, aspire to contest any elected positions. And for people to go outside the street and start doing the demonstration and all those things, we don't need that.
Okay, like what we witnessed in London when he got to London the other day.
Yes.
And I was actually looking at the image they are creating for Nigeria. The president is just one person that will come in today and go tomorrow. But the image of Nigeria as a nation, I think nobody advised those people right. Otherwise, they think they're doing it to the president, but I think they're doing it to us.
To Nigerians?
Yes.
That's a that is the worst situation. Their politicians, the elites have gone viral. At least in a desperation to, keep the power, they deploy all kinds of assault. We don't disgrace our leaders like that. No matter whatever happened, President Buhari still remains our president, the president of Nigeria. He don't go outside to, start demonstrating and, hauling all kinds of insult at him or his team. He still represents Nigeria wherever he is, on any part of the world. That's where Nigeria is. So I don't expect those demonstrations, carried out in London, to have. But those things are the handworks of few disgruntled politicians.
Or basically the oppositions.
In a nascent democracy, what should be the step to take? Is it such a open demonstration, or go to the polling booth and then say, please, I don't want that?
Yeah, if you have any distance to settle with him, you wait for him in the field. The day of elections, you use your vote, you go to use your vote. Not to come and demonstrate that the president and the Nigerians and all this or that and they start holding out. No, it's not African culture. It's not our own culture in Nigeria. So I don't expect that kind of behavior. People should, our leaders and those, politicians should know that there's a boundary when you start crossing those boundaries.
Okay, let us still look at this man, Buhari. When he was taking oath of office, when he was being inaugurated after the election, two comments he made: I want to fight corruption, and the other one, I belong to nobody, but I am for everybody. Has he regained on that very promise?
If you have an advantage of getting closer to this person, you know that the perception people are seeing is a different one. Some of us that have access to him in the past. I'm a member of the Buhari campaign organization, 2003.
Oh, really?
Yes, we work closely from there to 2007 and all. So he's not the kind of person, the way people, look at him. He doesn't have a leisure time to crack jokes. Whenever we are retiring towards evening, we sit together and brainstorm on issues. Because the Buhari campaign organization there was the think tanks of the party, ANPP. It was intellectual think tanks of the ANPP there. And some of us are there. Rachel Bakadibos and all of them, Mike Ahamba, and most of us are there.
And now our people were so fond of criticizing our leaders. And I know that democracy or politics came for the people, by the people, and for the people. And we all have a part to play when it comes to building our nation. Do you think going on to criticize and criticize and keep criticizing without actually, because there's something that is normally done by the whites. Sometimes they tell you they're having a solemn assembly, to pray for their leaders. These are humans as well. Where have we not gotten it right as citizens in terms of lifting them up in prayers, asking God to help them in their leadership positions? Even
in the Bible, we are told to respect our readers and pray for our readers. It's in the Bible. But here we are, as a mortal being, our desperations to cling to power. We deploy all kinds of assault, all kinds of means. And people will now no longer consider moral. So in all kinds of things, provided you get what you want. And that is what they are trying to do. Time has come for us, elites, to tell ourselves the honest truth. We have to respect our leaders, no matter until you get out of that position. And this is the message the coming generations, the youths, must have to imbibe, that getting to power cannot be do or die. Cannot be all kinds of means, fraudulent means, to achieve that purpose. What matters to your experience, intellectual values you have. You come out to tell us where you are going, and you'll be able to lead us. Let us know who you are and what you have.
But let us look at it from this side. Our governor, Willie Obiano, is trying to encourage youths into power, into positions, because like you can see in his executive, there are certain young ones who are there, who are enjoying mentorship, so to speak. Maybe for sometime in the future they are going to take the leadership position, either the governor or whatever. Now, looking at it from the federal level, don't you think it would be necessary that youths are being, injected into the governance, so that as the old ones are gradually existing the state.
That's in all levels, not just the federal level.
Okay, in all levels, of course, because our governor have started it already. So as the elder ones are existing the stage, the younger ones will take a cue, but not standing on the fence, because they must be inside the integral part of the administration, so as to learn in order to implement whatever that we could.
Yes, I agree with you, but the younger ones must have an patience to go through what I call apprenticeship. They must go through the process of learning. They must adjust themselves to the system. And that's what the old politician has. But the younger ones like this will come out today and want to be the president. He must go through the process. He must understand what the democracy is all about. How do tomorrow you become the chairman of local government or the state governors, you see them, what they like is to move with the convoys and they demonstrate that youthful distance. You must be able to pass through the process. On the process, you must be, you train yourself. You must understand what what the politics is all about, and the service to your people, to your nation. You must be able to understand what it means. Let me, for instance, there's one thing, the other side of President Buhari, some people do not even know. He's having human, nature. There was a time we have our mini convention in Boronu, those days. I know we went there. We went there, the governors there, because the governors always try to dominate the political process, everything they decide. They are going to nominate all those things. And it was towards the election period. So on that that particular convention, there's a lot of things that is happening that we in the Buhari campaign organization do not like. So I felt that there's a need for me to see him one-on-one. Then I decided to go to meet him on his guest, lodge. And when I came, I saw him with a group of people, and they told us, "Get up, let's go and have a lunch." We sat close to him. We have a lunch. After the lunch, he took me to one of the rooms. We stayed there for 1 hour. 1 hour. Do you know what we were arguing? My own distance there was that you can see that the governors have taken over all the process, nominating who is going to be in the committee that is going to organize the convention, the convention, to elect the chairman at the same time, towards electing the candidate for our party for the election, and that once we are excluded from this committee, that we are finished. Then I told him, Your Excellency, if after 2 o'clock they have refused to come so that we can harmonize the list of the governors themselves, headed by Sherif, the former governor of Borno State. And with Buffalo and their groups. I was advising on my view, my personal opinion, that Your Excellency, by 2 o'clock, let's go on air and address a press conference and call this things off, so that we'll be able to, put the whole mess, whatever they are doing, So he looked at me, he said, "Can a man build a house after building a house and decide to come and destroy the house?" I don't know what to do. I tried by all means to see that I convince him so that he agree with me. He refused. Now they ask me, say, "Okay, you have raised, let me ask you, can you provide a platform within which for us, within 3 months now, for us to go for that election?" There he pinned me down that I don't know what to say again, because you can go to party that has ideology with your own, and you cannot just all of a sudden you just decide to become a presidential candidate like him. Cannot just all of a sudden become to any other party. There must be a process building up confidence,
and he waited for that process before they had this merger.
So I'm coming. So at the end of the distance, and after some time, one of his special escort, Dr. Kofi, came in. He was banging on the door. I was asking, "You are holding the candidate, you have the Excellency for so long, up to 1 hour." He told him, "Man, get up from there. That what we are discussing here is very vital, very important. Because if you leave this place and go and tell other members that look at what is done, everybody will decide, decide this place and go. That we have to sit down together and find common solution to that." At the end of the day, he now come up. Yes, Buhari has a principle. If you have your own argument superseding his own, he budge. But if he knows that this thing is like that, that's why sometimes I have a problem with politicians of these days, that kind of thing. When you try to bend him, he will not. So at that point, he told me that he has gotten me here, that I failed to provide a platform for us to go for the election. And that aspect that we have to tally and exercise the question and to see what comes out from this convention today. So we stood up and shake hands. He led me. I hope all of us come out, and the people, I can see a lot of people say, "This man, are you the one holding this man for 1 hour?" So when we left, that day, within 30 minutes, I can see the convoy of the governors and the rest of them coming to see him. You understand? So at the end of the day, they came and brought their own list. And these heaps were there. They were able to harmonize. At least we have a representation on those, list that eventually organized election, the convention. But at the same time, to show you, at the end of the day, those governors still play their distance. Because at the end of the day, yes, we are going to support you. You are going to emerge as a presidential candidate, but we are going to nominate you who you are going to take as the vice president. So on that process, they nominated the late elder statesman, Edwin Umezoke, who now becomes his vice presidential candidate. and at the same time holding the office of the chairman of the party. Two double distance at the same time. Buhari tolerated that and worked with him seriously. Because I'm involved, that's why I'm saying these things.
Yes.
Okay, now let us look at what happened during the election, Anambra election. Some days before the election proper, the chief detail of the governor was withdrawn, and Buhari was in town the next day for the APC convention. He saw Anambra, he knew what happened. Don't you think how he allowed peace to reign must be the other aspect of him?
Yes, that is one aspect I'm trying to let you understand. You know, he doesn't believe in all these manipulating all these things. Forget about what is happening now. There's a lot of problems. Politicians, even if we bring Obama or whoever to Nigeria, they will put a mess. That's a serious one. You can't wiggle yourself out of it. Look at the formation of the APC, how they eventually happen. Do you know what the man is going through every day in that party? If you allow him as a person, let him, do organized and take things the way it should be, you might be seeing a different Buhari again. There's a lot of, us and other people coming out every day. You see,
a lot of interest to be protected.
So this scenario here in Anambra, don't you think it really?
That is why he refused. There was a pressure on him for them to rig Anambra elections. He refused. He refused.
And that's the subset part of him.
Yes, that's the subset part of him.
He's human.
If he had budged,
he would have insisted that let the APC take Anambra State.
If he has budged, we would have seen a catastrophe here.
It's true. And there's another thing that happened recently that I know that this country is a very difficult country to govern. Anybody that comes in will always have problems. Nigerians will always have one thing or the other to say about
1 month, in fact 6 months, they will start having problems with you.
Obasanjo, Jonathan, everybody that has gone through this, they will have one thing or the other to pin you down with.
To pin you down.
But one thing is certain, there's a recent achievement, or let me just say, thing that he did for Nigeria, and that nobody has really known exactly the benefits. Okay, talking about the ECOWAS agreement that he refused to sign. And he gave his reason that this will affect the small-scale industries in this nation and affect all the small businesses that are coming up.
Yes.
And that was the reason that he did not sign it. Perhaps Nigeria have never really known what he did to them.
Yes, of course.
Okay, and just yesterday or the other day, the vice president was in Onitsha to encourage these small businesses to grow here in Anambra State. Is this not supposed to be part of the good side of the president?
Are you talking about that? When he was a military head of state, these issues of Nigerian-Cameroon issue came up. Cameroon decided to cross over to Nigeria, and there was firing, what they are now encroaching on our territories and that kind of thing. But he didn't waste 1 second, and he pushed them out of Nigeria. When within one distance, they sent the signal. And that's why then Abacha was there and all the people were there and told them that what we are waiting for you is for you people to fire one shot. We will overrun. Buhari did that. He cannot, in fact, the Nigerian distance flows in him anytime. Can defend it. When you watch the mess that happens, it was outside his edition that when all this nonsense of negotiating with the Cameroons and all those things, where they budged. If he had been there as the president of Nigeria, we wouldn't have lost that part of
the Bakassi
areas. We really wouldn't have allowed that to happen.
We once had a president that, when you talk nonsense to him, he will reply. But in the case of this president, all these attacks, remember yesterday, Abaribe said that president is incompetent, and Lawan has to lash back and say that you must apologize, and he went on to apologize. He hasn't talked back on anyone, since all this. You said, if it's the other one said I did campaign when somebody talked to him in a manner that he didn't like, but all this while I've not seen him, talk back at anybody that really, talked to him in a manner that he didn't like.
That's another one. I thank God that you people are noticing all those things. It's one of those things that the Nigerian press, you have to let people understand, because sometimes We cannot get it right when we do everything possible to pull our leaders down, no matter whatever. What we have to do is to always trying to see where to, pray for our leaders and give them the necessary support, and where it's necessary, and play our own role. Buhari is not that kind of arrogant, person that when you now trying to, he will, come in after you, that kind of thing. Or after all, there's a lot of comment that made against him that is supposed to reply in a harsh way. But he didn't.
Now that the road to 2019 is becoming, will I say, interesting, inclusion of other individuals, the president said, I am ready to run. Others are coming in, said, I want to do that too. Which way should we go? What trade words, what caution should we have to play in this regard? The youths are saying, yes, we are qualified. And some other individuals are saying, especially the opposition, are saying, yes, this man didn't do well. We want to overtake, we want to come over. How do we go about it? What is the word of caution to a lot of individuals politically?
Well, my take on that is that Nigerians, being the largest blacks African nation, one have to be very, very careful, especially we Nigerians. Not enough for somebody to just sleep and wake up and say that you are going to be the president of Nigeria. You carry a lot of, loads. Not only Nigeria, on Africa as a whole. If youths, yes, youths can come up to aspire to any position, but must have experience. They must go through the process, must understand what it takes to govern, to rule. That is my own take on that. Then the president has been there before. He has been there before as a military head of state, and they have been there now till now as an incumbent. He has acquired a lot of experience anyway. And what we are praying is that let genuine people, be around him to guide him.
All right. We must thank you so much, Honorable Edozie Ezugwa, for coming on the show to really talk about the softer side of President Buhari. Yeah. We thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
All right, gentlemen, we must go.
Yeah, we are ready. Thank you, sir, for coming.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. It was good having you today.
All right.
Well, thank God it's Friday, because we're going to have a good
All right. At this point, we'd like to thank you so much for your time today on Good Morning Anambra show. Let's do it again Monday. Do have yourself a beautiful weekend. Bye for now.